And here we go. And good Sunday morning to you. Just a reminder that all four titles are available now of My Frankenstein. You can find out more information at comics.rosalesentertainment.com. They are available digitally right now, and coming soon, we will have a graphic novel version of that. So, good morning to you guys. Good morning. How is your morning so far?
Pretty good.
Oops.
Not
Sorry.
not too
Meant
bad.
to do that.
Not too bad at all. Thank you so much for having me on. I'm honored.
Love the new avatar. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Max Z1101. Glad to have you on the stream.
Thank you.
What's been going on in your life on your stream? Can tell the audience a little bit about yourself.
So on my stream, I have panel discussions on movies. One of the things that we do a little differently is there's a lot of voice acting on the channel. We've done some little stage plays with multiple voice actors. I've had Tim, who's I'm guessing been on your
Our
show
good
before,
friend
Tim Shaver.
OJ.
Yeah, yep, I've had Tim Schafer on my show, doing as a guest and doing some of the voices. I've had Taylor Wright from Right House Production doing voices. So we do fake commercials, we do stage plays, or so to speak, and we do movie reviews, and we joke around, and we get raunchy too. Other people say, "Well, we get raunchy." No, there's been some words that would probably get you demonetized to use several times an episode. So that's kind of the stuff we do on my stream.
That's
I
awesome.
prom-
Let's see. Here we go. All right. So, not everybody's going to be available today. We usually have people like that darn kitty. It's her birthday today, and right now it's about 6 o'clock p.m. Greenwich Mean Time in where is she at? She's in Dubai. Yeah, so she's going for a sunset ride on some horses, and she was talking about maybe speeding that up to be here, but I told her no, just enjoy the sunset,
Yeah.
enjoy your time.
Don't speed it up.
I think I could be mistaken, but I think they're riding Arabian horses. So those are some big stallions to be heading off into the desert, watching the sunset. That's just going to be a beautiful, beautiful time. Uh, Good morning, Michael. Good morning. Glad to see you this morning. We got a pretty good show this morning. We're going to be talking on a subject that is going to be a little bit touchy to some people. So I hope that we can be respectful on all the way around. This past week, Twitter erupted with a debate on whether or not the Spider Woman, Spider Gwen, was a trans character. And somebody else brought up the fact that Jessica Drew, who was created before her, was possibly the first trans because she was a clone of Peter Parker. And as a female or a male with all of the memories are trapped in a female body, she is possibly the first trans character. So, I wanted to go through it real quick and hit a few slides and open up a conversation about that. Tori says, thinking about trans Gwen Stacy and her entire plot being about centered around her father's struggle to believe her and accept her identity. And of course, you've got the colors that people are looking at, the support trans kids flag in the background. When I saw the movie last night, I didn't notice it as much as the people taking the screenshots. And of course, they fought against that, saying Gwen Stacy is not trans. She's just an ally. Stop looking for secret meanings when there's none. The trans pin on her dad is just as uniform ribbons. Gwen's universe is like an oil painting, so the colors sometimes splash and have a brush look to them. And Eliza says, Pride Month plus Across the Spiderverse month, and we have a trans Gwen Stacy. This makes me so happy. So a lot of people are excited about these colors that she's flying or that they're using around her. But I couldn't help but notice that the colors are very, very similar to the comic book, although not exactly the same, which makes me believe that there is a difference in the colors that you have when you do something for broadcast or do something for print. The difference is CMYK versus RGB. And what that does is it makes things look a lot flatter, a lot duller. So maybe they are using the same colors as the comic book, but they pop differently on screen as they are projected through light. Regardless of that, Thalia says, trans, bi, gay, straight, whatever, Gwen Stacy will always be just so lovable. But as I said before, people are looking back to Jessica Drew. And according to the Ultimate Marvel, she is the clone of Peter Parker with all of his powers and memories. And Moonrise questions the legitimacy of that particular idea. She was born as a girl, and Peter said that the moment she was born, she was a completely different person as Peter Parker, which means she was never Peter, just has his memories. And that's how he sees it. So, what do you guys think? Warren?
I mean, this stuff
I'm
has been
sorry,
going
Cole.
on for ages. I guess with people online doing stuff with characters. I mean, at a certain point, it was just like in certain communities, whatever. I mean, I guess recently they've been trying to like push it publicly and try to like make it canonized. Um, I mean, yeah, whatever. I mean, the short answer is yeah, probably no. But yeah, obviously, but whatever. I mean, people do this on the internet all the time, and they're going to continue. So whatever. I mean,
So, Warren, what did you think?
I had a discussion with someone about this. So, a couple things. I think I've been reading comics for a while. Cole knows this. You know this. Not once has Gwen ever come out and said she's a T soldier. So, I just think these T warriors, just to be respectful to your stream, these T warriors are just really looking for validation. Okay, fine. She wants to protect the T warriors, but in the movie, but that doesn't mean that she is. She's never has been. There was even a comic way back that shows Gwen Stacy kissing Norman Osborn when she and they had kids together because it was a secret relationship. Gwen Stacy has always been the love interest of Peter Parker. Um, uh, Even in the movie, Gwen Stacy, you could see has a love interest in Miles. So these people, these T Warriors, they need validation. And personally, I think it's a little sad. I don't go, when I watch a cartoon, a comic book movie that's live action, Cole knows this, you know this. I watch it for no narratives, no agendas, nothing pushed. Whoever pushed that into that movie, personally, should be looked at because it should be not in a movie. A movie is for entertainment purposes. They need to stop doing this social narrative. But to answer the question, I do not think she is. I think she never was. I've never seen anything in the comic. I wish I had micro comics to confirm as well, but it's just they need validation, and I don't want to sound. I'm trying not to sound like I'm mean, but it just seems like these people looked throughout the entire movie and was like, you know what, let's find something, and I'm just gonna give the cool answer. No, I don't think she is.
I was just trying to be a bit nicer to them, Warren.
I'm
Well,
nice
no,
too.
it's interesting though because there's a great history of fiction, specifically science fiction, addressing social topics and social issues. You see it way back in the original Star Trek, and a lot of these topics go under the radar in the sort of way that Illumination does adult humor for the parents watching, and that too is one thing that's carried weight in all kinds of history. Shakespeare would address the two audiences that he had: the upper crust audience that was sitting above the ground, and then the people on ground level who are just general admission audience. He had the fight scenes for them, but the romance and the political drama for the ones above. So while they're drinking and eating, the guys up top are getting something. And then when they are eating or paying attention to themselves, you get the action and the fighting in the Shakespearean thing. So addressing two different audiences at the same time in one piece is something that's done all the time. And even people with nefarious agendas have slipped things into cartoons that were not necessarily um, the best thing. I believe it was in The Rescuers. There was one frame in a window with a topless lady when they're flying through New York City that shows up, and that was put in there. I forget by who, but somebody within the process snuck that in, and that's like the extreme example of people putting things in. I don't think it's necessarily wrong for people to have their own head canon, and they do say specifically that the Gwens in the Spider-Verse that fall for Miles Morales, it never ends well, but they did have one that has a family. So I mean, they do come together at some point. Let's see what we got here. Michael says exactly what Warren is saying are my thoughts. She's not trans, just more of the woke crowd trying to insert their identity into everything. Well, and they can speak to that. I mean, it's everybody should be able to hold an opinion. That's not enough. The society needs to do better. Well, I agree that society does need to do better. But let's hear from Max. Max, what are your thoughts?
Well, I think that was masterful that you brought up Star Trek. I think that Star Trek and Star Trek The Next Generation, which I'm most familiar with, did do that sort of writing. And while I gave a scathing review of the movie, I did think that the first hour and 30 minutes was exactly what I wanted out of a comic book movie. And I did like that issue was in there. Now, I don't think that she's trans myself. You don't know until somebody tells you. And it does look like, in regards to the colors scheme, it was probably a happy accident. So they probably had something get in line with it, with the narrative they wanted to push. So it helped them out. I enjoyed it quite a bit. It got me thinking a lot. What you told me about Spider-Woman going into the movie had me thinking a lot. And I do like the idea that there's something for people to look at philosophically. And in parallel, it can also just be a fun movie on top of that. But I would like to see more of that. I mean, Captain America: The Winter Soldier was one of those movies that got me thinking, and Captain America: Civil War got me thinking even more just about who's right, who's wrong, sort of moral choices do you make. I don't think that she's trans at all. I do think that they were trying to make people relate to the issue and think about it. There's a lot of real life issues that all these characters go through. Identity and sharing your true self is one of them that a lot of people deal with. I'm reminded of X-Men 2. I believe it's called X-Men 2, X-Men United. And there was a controversy, what was it, back in 2002, 2003 when it came out, because the parents are sitting down with Iceman and they say, have you ever tried not being a mutant? And that was very much an analogy for the conversation that a lot of parents had with their bisexual children or gay children back then, saying, have you ever tried not being Persuasion X sexually? So I do think that it was there to make people think about the issue. I don't think that she's trans myself. I can see how some people think that, but it's not like we saw HRT sitting in the kitchen sink or no, I'm sorry, not kitchen sink, but in the bathroom in her window or something. We just don't know. I mean, if people want to think that, they're free to think what they want. I just am glad that this movie has created a thought-provoking conversation, and I hope we see more of that out of comic book movie-making studios.
Very well said. Anybody else got any thoughts on this?
No, I kind of agree with Maxo, but yeah, still, I definitely don't think she is. I mean, if she ends up being so like later on, I think that will just be like a change up. I don't think she was ever like previously, with all the facts there. But again, it's harmless, and people do this online all the time with stuff, and as I said, like philosophical, like things you can find in it. So yeah, it's whatever.
The thing is that art usually sparks conversation and debate, and I think it's important that art sparks conversation and debate. And this particular topic definitely does. I think the fact that the colors do sort of match in the from the comic book. So it's working for their advantage to keep the topic going. But speaking of keeping, go ahead, please.
Yeah, I don't, and I just want to say I'm glad they kept the topic going. I don't mind, I don't mind like political or philosophical sort of stories too in science fiction or comics, but I want to say I do see the value in what was it Wuran? I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing your name right. I do think there is value in
Warren.
Warren, yeah, sorry about that. My vision's a little bad,
no
but I do think there's value in what you said. I do think that there's a larger truth to what you said too. There's a lot of politics in movies, and it's really just getting to be annoying. I'm just glad that somebody did it well. That's what I'm saying.
Very good.
Yeah, like I was trying to tell. Like I said, they did it. You had Israel subtitle, right? So I didn't mind that. But like to speak about, I think Cole talked about. I think you mentioned Iceman, and I read that, and like. The way they brought that out was really smooth. How they did that, like it's okay. Like I said, I'm like, okay, they did that. I don't mind, but I mean, just if I just have to go off of pure history, she's really not. So that's my thing. Like,
yeah,
and if anything, okay, if you want to do that, fine. Make a new character for that.
Well, yeah, you used to make fun of people who did that, like people who tried to find clues that Batman in the 60s, Batman was gay. So it used to be like a joke that when people did that, you're like, oh god. I remember that all these people thought they found hidden things in the original Scooby-Doo, and one of the creators of Scooby-Doo said this was just thought up by sociology majors who have too much time on their hands. So this has always kind of been with us, unfortunately.
Oh yeah, I mean, I remember back in the 70s, there was a whole lot of talk about HR Puffin stuff, the kids show with the full size mascot costumes, of Siegfried and the Sea Monsters and stuff like that. They thought that HR Puffin stuff stood for hand rolled Puffin stuff. So and that the kids that they were smoking. Some of that wacky weed back in the day, and these are the characters they were hallucinating, and we were watching their wild trips, if you will. So it's just there's always somebody seeing something that maybe they don't see. And the last thing I wanted to say on this is that it's comic books, and Iceman went from straight to gay like that because somebody decided, well, okay, let's have a gay character in comic books. So it wouldn't be unheard of for the comic book version of Spider Gwen to go ahead and make that flip, and then for her relationship with Miles Morales to take that kind of turn, where now it makes an implication in what Miles' preferences are. So, I mean, they could go a lot of different ways with this in the comic books, and then all of a sudden, instantly, because some writer decided that this is where the story wanted to go, it goes from headcanon to regular canon. So, you never know what's going to happen, uh, especially when you're dealing with a multiverse of a storyline. So, we've got these two multiverse movies, Into the Spider-Verse and The Flash coming out. I think we've all seen the Spider-Verse movie. Was anybody lucky enough to see one of the early screenings of The Flash?
No.
I know K Dots was, and he did reviews of it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they're not giving the guy who does O.J. Simpson impression movie passes.
Yeah,
that
I
sucks.
I had invited K Dot to be on the show. Unfortunately, he is at an airport this morning.
Yeah, he's
So
been going there a lot. Like he did it to pick up his parents, and I guess his like cousin or something.
yeah.
And that's disappointing, Max, because they like seriously, it would have fit so well, because he sure did run away from the police very well, like the Flash.
That would be. I thought that would be funny if there's an after credits scene where he thinks he's fixed the timeline or whatever, and then Batman arrests him because he thinks he's Ezra Miller.
I got this sneaking suspicion that when the Flash goes back in, and I could be wrong because um, in the initial story of Flashpoint, um, the Flash is the one who creates the event that causes his mother's death. So him trying to fix it causes this whole thing to happen that causes him to be him, if you will. And when he does that, he undoes it. I could be wrong in my interpretation of what happened in the Flashpoint, but I think it's possible for Ezra Miller to be, or Barry Allen, if you will, to be the bad guy in the story, where it is him who is destroying the multiverse, and him trying to reset it causes more chaos than good. And it's him from an alternate timeline that's trying to undo what he is doing now that seems to be the bad guy. So, oh yeah, Nico says people didn't like the Iceman change either. Yeah, most people are yeah, don't like change. So, but what do you guys think?
Uh, Cole knows from a while. I thought that they should just. I thought whether it was the end of the Hamada slash whatever era, I thought that to go with. Okay, so let me rephrase this. DC before James Gunn has this thing where they go from 1 to 10. So me personally, as a Flash fan, I don't think they should even use this concept. This is Flashpoint usage should have been something you use for, say, I don't know, when you're like 3 movies in. That's my personal opinion, because it's so interconnecting with all the characters. Uh, um, it's so interconnecting with all the characters because it affects every universe and every character. It affects every character. Affects like Aquaman, Wonder Woman, Captain Atom, Superman. Cyborg, Batman. The list goes on, right? So, me personally, I thought the movie should have been like a Captain Cold villain or the Rogues or something. Somebody that even Gorilla Grodd would have personally worked. I just think that they're trying their best to. They see that the other company, they're like, well, the other studio's doing multiverse with Kang the Conqueror and Across the Smoke. We got to do something like that so that we can, attract our crowd. And I guess this was able to bring Keaton in because I'm sure a lot of the Batman fans are gonna come see Keaton. So I think it was more of that, which is fair enough. He came to do it, and then also Michael Shannon. He was a great Zod. As much as people don't like Man of Steel, Michael Shannon was a good Zod. So again, they're bringing back these people from prior movies that were instrumental for its success in some way. And I don't know. I just, like I said, DC. The only two characters they've done decently is Wonder Woman with the first movie and Aquaman with that. Well, I should say Shazam as well. But I guess second movies aren't their thing because I haven't seen Aquaman. Had two hasn't come out yet. 1984 wasn't that great, and Fear of the Gods. I don't know what caused that to flop because I don't think it was that bad of a movie. Don't mean to go on a tangent, by the way. But I just think that this was not the right way to go. Will I see it? Yes. Will it reset the universe? Probably. But I don't know how you call a Flash movie The Flash and not say it's Flashpoint. It just doesn't make sense.
Well,
Right.
Yeah, I have an.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, I have an opinion on that. I do think a lot of what you said is right, and I think there's actually one extra thing I'd like to add on with appropriating things from Marvel, or maybe not Marvel directly. Days of the Future Past tried to help make the X-Men on-screen universe more cohesive. We saw Terminator Genesis do that. So I think that this is a commercial decision. I mean, it is art, but it's also entertainment and business. They had to really undo a lot of damage that had been done to the brand. And I don't think this was their original conception of what the movie was supposed to be, but I think their back was against the wall, and they, being part of a competitive market, said, what have other studios done when they've been in a similar spot? What are they doing to draw people into the theater? And that's been the history of Marvel and DC. They both copy things from each other and put their own spin on it, such as the nature of competing entertainment entities. And I think that, while it may not be the movie I would want or you would want, I can't speak for Cole. I don't know what Cole's opinion is on it, but I do think that it's something that they're making out of necessity, if that makes sense.
yeah, no, it definitely is.
It makes sense.
This is something they made because they were desperate to try to find something to get everybody into the theaters, and yeah, this is what happens. I mean, obviously it's a mess, and this shouldn't have happened this early, and it's so convoluted. But this is what happened with the old regime, I guess, and directors for the most part, besides the odd one in past universe, I guess. So not surprising. And it's 250 mil and probably more in promotion that they then canceled many times. So yeah, they can't just shelve it. So yeah, this is just the best way to go, I guess. But yeah, it is.
That's probably. Yeah, it's probably the same amount as Ezra Miller's legal bills too, the 250 million. Just kidding.
Yeah.
Just
kidding. And again, it's even past this. It's also have Blue Beetle and Aquaman. They need to release. It's just a mess right now. But hopefully we'll get by it. But
sure.
Yeah, again, let's just hope that Aquaman 2 and Blue Beetle aren't as terrible as we might think, or aren't as convoluted as well, and then we can just think of the Flash as just after we see it, again, no more we can do another Flashpoint in the future, just
sure,
it
far in the future, I hope.
Yeah,
but so I am of the belief that you start off with, and I recently, I'd say over the last 10 years, I used to be huge Batman fan. Still sort of like him, but he's dropped down a huge peg for me. I love Barry Allen. Barry Allen is someone that he can still lose to a guy that doesn't have, powers the like the trickster, but still have a hard time fighting, Godspeed. The thing is that all of his, if his rogues is unique. So I don't think anybody. I think they could have got a great actor to play Captain Cold, and you have a great rogues, or you could have had great Grodd, or a great. Let's say you really wanted to go a little bit Zoom Hunter Zolomon, right? Like you could do that. Like his rogues are unique. You don't have to. I don't understand what's with DC's thing. Why do they do this? Like, hey guys, instead of we're gonna, it's the first day of school. We're learning math. Okay, it's 1 + 1 is 2. Next day you come in, the teacher's like, guess what? Today in first grade, we're gonna learn a quadratic equation. It's like what? like why did you go so fast for no reason? So um, do I hope they bring back the Flash? Yes. Problem is when you do a character, now you have to wait some odd years, just like we're finally gonna get X-Men. I'm just relating into how long it's taken to for like a production of an X-Men Fantastic Four movie. We're gonna have to wait like probably another decade or so before we see Flash again. Maybe not. Maybe with Gunn we might see it earlier. Who knows? But that's how it works when we've seen something before used. So.
Well, you've got when it comes to the X-Men and the Fantastic Four, those things were previously in production, and sometimes you have people that negotiate that their names are associated with a particular property whenever something gets made. So you have the Broccoli family, who will always be associated with 007 James Bond, and they will always have an executive producer credit, whether they work on the film or not. Plus, it means that they have to be paid. So, what we're probably looking at here, the reason for delays and delays and delays of things of properties they already now own, because they absorbed 20th Century Fox, is probably due to some sort of contractual agreement that movies have to be made within a certain time period. And if they are made within a certain time period, somebody has to have a credit and get paid. And
Yep.
Right now, people are not wanting to pay the extra for for people that haven't worked on something in a really long time. Look at the writers' strike. They're looking at unfair payment practices due to residuals of streaming, which is a convoluted mess to begin with. So
Mhm.
it makes sense to me, and I don't have any proof of it, and I don't have any inside information either. But it makes sense to me that the reason they're holding off is because they want to not pay somebody or have them associated with it. I mean, Avi Arad has been associated with the X-Men movies forever, since the very beginning, and he's only worked on the first couple of them. So his name is always there, and he always gets a paycheck because of his contractual agreement. So they're probably waiting something like that out. And so for Flash, on the other hand, he can be introduced again, at least a different version of Barry Allen. Would probably be introduced later on down the line. You've got all of the new stuff happening right off the bat. There's I forget the name, but there's a superhero group that is being introduced in Superman Legacy that we know for a fact that they're going to have a film maybe 3-4 years out. So there's already plans in place, and somewhere in there is the Flash. Somewhere in there is Batman. We know that because they're going to be doing Batman: Brave and the Bold, and somewhere in there is Wonder Woman. So it's in play now. The Authority. Thank you, Walter. The Authority is what's going to be introduced in Superman Legacy. Um, so let's see here. I wanted to touch back on. That's not just happening starting to happen with every famous legacy character like the Punisher. Uh, and Nico said previously, when I saw the other day that in the trailer, Barry Allen in the trailer, I thought he'd be trouble because the yellow he is wearing is like that of the yellow Flash from the show. So yeah, they do a lot of color clues as we were discussing earlier in the show. There's a lot of different ways it can go. Who do you think is going to do the multiverse better? Because Spider Verse is going to open things up uh, to be just wild and crazy, whereas this is going to refocus everything to where Gunn wants to be. Cole, let's start with you.
I'm sorry. Can you repeat the question? My mic was bugging out.
Who do you think is which side is going to do the multiverse better, the DC or the Marvel?
uh, I mean, it's hard to say, but it really depends on like what aspects you mean mainly, because there's many aspects of like a multiverse. But I mean, I would say like least amount of loopholes. Honestly, maybe Marvel, just because they had to like do a bunch of stuff with the Flash at this point and make some changes, and now there's a lot of stuff that gone by where maybe there's some stuff won't make sense. Which will be the better movie? Probably that as well. Uh, what might have the better moments? We'll have to wait and see with that. But I mean, I still think the Flash could be solid, but I don't think at this point it's gonna be anywhere near that.
Oh, Max, what do you think?
Well, I'm not exactly sure that The Flash looks like it's a multiverse sort of movie. It looks more as if it's a multiverse mesh sort of movie, if that makes sense. He screws up something and causes the multiverse to go together. It doesn't seem like jumping across universes is inherent to the plot. It's more trying to break them up from each other. So I mean, I haven't seen the movie myself, so I don't really know how which one. I just can't really say which one will do better.
Yeah.
But I do. It doesn't look like it's a key plot point. I think it all depends too if audiences get tired of it too. Even in Doctor Strange into the multiverse of madness, there wasn't nearly as much multiverse jumping as, let's say, this into the Spider-Verse movie, and across the Spider-Verse, excuse me.
Hmm.
So I don't really know who's going to do it better, but I do think it is a huge part of the Miles Morales saga. So I see them, I see that being more inherent to those sort of movies than the Flash movies.
I think part of the trailer had Batman talking to Barry saying, "You could go to any universe and any world you want to. Why would you come to this one?" And Barry responds, "Because this is the one where my mother is alive." So, it kind of does put it towards a multiverse and multiverse jumping. Um, So it says, Nico says, I feel like the MCU might bring up the mutants if they start getting into trouble in theaters. DC, I'm not convinced. So, Warren, where are you at on this?
Oh, but I think this is just a one and done movie, so I don't think it's going to have any sort of implications moving forward. So far, I trust Marvel moving forward with the multiverse connections. That's just my opinion, and also, um, I don't think Gunn has any intention of starting a multiversal saga or anything with what he has lined up. So this is just a one and done. Um, that's kind of how I look at it. And in regards to who's doing it best, I think Spider-Verse is doing it a little bit better in regards because, like Max said, I was expecting a little bit more multiversal stuff, like even in Doctor Strange, but the movie was like 2 hours and change, which really caught me off guard because I thought that movie would have been longer. But that's Sam Raimi, not discrediting him, just saying that he just wanted to, I guess, not quantity but quality, which I still like that movie, Multiverse of Madness. So, yeah, I just think this is just a one and done movie. That's the way I look at it.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Did anybody happen to see the extended trailer for Twisted Metal?
Yeah, and I wasn't the biggest fan of it. Yeah, again, visually looked empty. Comedy wise, it's like the type of humor I would see on like the Sci-Fi Channel. Uh, Acting, I mean, the lead's trying his best, but yeah, the guy who voiced Sweet Tooth, I don't know, not doing it for me. Uh, yeah, I
Well,
don't know.
that's I find that interesting because Sweet Tooth they're crediting this as being a vehicle for Anthony Mackie and Will Arnett. And when I saw this guy here, I was absolutely sure that that was not Will Arnett. And when I went to take a look, sure enough, it's Will Arnett who's doing the voice of Sweet
Mhm.
Tooth. So the actual person behind this mask is Samoa Joe.
Yep.
Yeah, he's more of a special effect than I'm saying it because that's what James Earl Jones said of being Darth Vader. He's more of a special effect than the actual actor. That's the way I'd say it. There's so many other things you have to do when you're doing live acting versus voice acting. I actually tried just as an experiment to act out one of my voice acting skits, the Indiana Jones one, and I was like,
Hmm.
I'm like the way it looks in my head versus how when I do it, like let's say in front of a mirror with different voices, is
Hmm.
there's so many different things you have to keep a track of. And I'm not trying to discount what Arnett is doing, but I don't think that he's the actor, or so to speak. The voice is just one piece of the actor. There's the majority of it belongs to over the performers. That's my opinion of it.
Yeah, he sounds like Lego Batman. So, and as a voice actor, you want to have more range than somebody like a Robert De Niro who plays himself over and over and over again. Will Arnett is always Will Arnett whenever he's on the screen. Who he is who he is, and that's who he is in any given situation, like De Niro or Pacino. You know, so to hear him doing the Lego Batman over Sweet Tooth was just kind of a little bit jarring, like Cole was um, alluding to there. Good morning, Miss 1776. How are you?
Good morning. No, I can't find my glasses.
Oh, you
Oh
wear?
no.
I didn't know you wear
Okay, I mean, I
glasses.
do see a creepy clown, so
Oh yeah, we were there's a new show coming out on Peacock. You may see a trailer for it as you're watching your cowboy show, called Twisted Metal, which is based off of a video game that has cars and explosions, all of which the trailer did not show any
Mhm.
of. So,
And it has a lot of, again, it has a lot of great like character background, like animation videos, and especially of like Sweet Tooth. Like that's why he's so iconic in the video game series, and then also some horror bits as well. But yeah, I guess they're going to more of a comedic route, which I mean, it did have that as well. It didn't take itself like too seriously in like in the action bits, but still, yeah, I don't know. It just looks like unfinished. I don't know, at least like visually and such, and production design. And I'm also not a fan of the costumes in some areas. It just looks. I mean, it's Peacock, so I guess that's why.
well, Walter says, I'll be honest, I don't take Twisted Metal serious enough as a story to really care too much about the depiction of the characters. Even the games have changed the characterizations each time. So it's not like they've got a canon, unless they're going from one game to the other, to take a look at on that.
Oh
So,
yeah, yeah. Oh
Well,
yeah, definitely. I just think that what they're doing no just looks poor. That's all. And also, I was never a big fan of Twisted Metal either, but I really love like just the characters in it though, like because of their backgrounds, and they have so much potential for future video games or potential film stuff like this. So
um, so we we talked about this when we discussed Mario, that there's going to be a rise in the video games. But then there could be the rise of just using the wrong video game, right? And to me, this is the wrong video game to There are other IPs that I could think off the top of my head. Like I said, people love a good space movie when you're in space and flying around. I do not understand why no one has tried to come up with a script from Nintendo and say, "Hey, let's do a Star Fox series." Like Star Fox is if not just as big or top 3 among the Nintendo culture, because I think in my mind I see Mario always on top, Zelda, then Star Fox. That's in my mind. You can't beat those are the 3 like juggernauts when I think of Nintendo. And I don't get that with Twisted Metal. I think it's just me. If I was gonna do this show, I would have done it animated. Maybe that
That
to me
sounds.
go ahead.
I was saying that sounds awesome. Yeah, animated just metal. That's a great idea.
Oh, sorry.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. I mean, I think both would have worked, and I mean, like there's definitely better ones they could have done to start off with, but I do think like this does have a lot of potential for like a film or show. Like there's a lot that they can do. So I don't really agree with that, but I mean, yeah, whatever. This is just a start, though. I mean, they could there's thousands or hundreds of IPs out there they could do. Now I also heard they're doing like a Beyond Good and Evil film, which I mean was like one of my favorite games. Hopefully that second one doesn't get canceled, but yeah. So I think that's something that has loads of potential. I mean, not the one that's coming out though, because I saw who's directing it. It's the same guy who did Detective Pikachu and like many other bad ones like Shark Tale. So yeah, but nonetheless, and also Alan Wake too. I think is one that definitely could be in film. They already done a lot of film stuff with it, so they even did like a short mini series. So
I don't think we're anywhere near close to seeing a Star Fox film, though, because they are very, very protective. Nintendo is of Star Fox more so than any of the other characters. I mean,
yeah,
you've got just a few ports of the game from one engine to another because they don't want it to fall down. Excuse me. They don't want it to lose its appeal that it's already established. So they're not going to put a port of the game that will look wonky. Uh, they've always done the pseudo 3D kind of thing, but to bring it into a real 3D environment, which should be pretty easy these days, they're just waiting for the right style, the right engine to hit before they bring it out and blow everybody away. So, they also had a really bad experience with the Super Mario Brothers movie to begin with, the very first one. So I don't think they're just going to do what these guys did and just put it in the hands of Peacock and let them do whatever they want to do. They're gonna try to protect that IP as much as possible.
I mean, fair enough. I will say though, the first Mario Brothers movie is definitely better than the second.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I will say it is. It does seem like easy to do a Star Fox film though, like animated, but like because I mean they did with like Ratchet and Clank, but again they're more protective of it, unlike Sony.
Yeah. For all we know, there could have been pitches as well. We never know what goes on behind the scenes exactly. We only know what we read in the newspaper.
Oh, you still get a newspaper?
Oh no, I steal my neighbor's newspaper.
Miss 1776, I know you're an avid gamer. What are your final thoughts on this topic?
I mean, avid gamer. You mean like Frogger and Pac-Man and Donkey Kong Country and what was the other one? Story of Seasons, which was Harvest Moon before like that. Now that one's an interesting one if you were getting to that. But anyways, Animal Crossing. I don't know if I fall in this category though.
Well, I just brought that up because I know Max was worried about not being too informative on certain topics, and I wanted to just let him feel good about knowing that somebody else is here that doesn't always know 100% everything on every topic. So,
Oh, thanks for letting people know my secret that I don't know everything.
Walter says there's been reports in the last few days about Universal trying to close a deal for the Legend of Zelda film. Yes, yes, there have been lots of rumors about that, and I think if they were pitching Will Arnett as the voice of Link, they're probably in trouble because everybody knows it should be Star Lord.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez, you stole my
Jesus.
joke. What? No, they should hire Tim to do it. Have him be Link doing the Joker voice.
But I think
Well, excuse me, princess.
I think all I'm gonna say is I think a lot of the if they want, I think there's nothing wrong with doing an animated movie if the storyboard and the art and the writing is good. Sometimes you don't need live action, and I think people are. I mean, Spiderverse is a testament to that. There's other movies that have come out. I mean, look at the Pixar movies. So I mean, even though they're more kid oriented, I'm just saying that I think sometimes you don't need big name actors. You could still have the actors like what we saw, but they'd just be voice acting. But if you have a good storyboard, you can have a great movie. So that's just my thing. I don't think everything needs to be live action. It's okay to take some of the stuff animated because it might be. Also, it's easier to tell. You're able to do more with a animated uh, than in live. You're only so much limited because then you got to get into CGI, which of course that CGI raises the budget, right? So you know,
True enough.
Has
Yeah.
anime just become so expensive that we have to do live action? Oh, is that what's happened?
Yeah, I don't know. Not everything needs to be though, but again, these studios, it's like they don't think of animated stuff as like real things, and it's really annoying, especially if somebody who really loves a lot of animated films. Not the Super Mario Brothers movie, but
I am Link.
I mean, another one that could work in either live action or animated is Shadow of the Colossus. If they're never going to do a sequel to that,
Oh yeah, but then you wind up having these scenes where he's sitting on top of a cliff, talking with the comedic relief, and doing all the exposition that's needed to carry you around to the next action sequence of climbing giants.
mm-hmm.
So, it's. I think it's going to be an interesting time for comic book and video game movies. K Dot says Zelda is the only one not so friendly Nintendo property, so you can push some themes that aren't childish. A PG-13 2D anime Zelda film would be solid. Um, yeah, yeah. Maybe get Studio Ghibli involved with that and let them push some boundaries like they did with Earthsea. That would be kind of interesting, I think.
Are you sure you don't want Disney to make it?
No, no.
I'm just kidding.
Because they definitely would cast Idris Elba as Link. So, I'm coming for you, princess.
If Idris Elba said that to me, I'd be thrilled. I'm just saying. He can say whatever he wants. I'm sorry, I'll stop.
So, let's see here. This may just be for me, this particular topic, but AEW Collision had some great sales for their brand new TV show, AEW Collision, which is debuting in New York. And the headline event is a three-man tag, a three-way dance, if you will, featuring Chicago native CM Punk. So he's coming back to the ring, and that's drawing all kinds of attention. However, AEW in general is going on tour in Canada, which is on fire right now. Prayers go out to all of our Canadian friends who are having a hard time breathing and seeing
Mm-hmm.
through all the smoke. Glad it's all starting to die down. I know Chillmonger is not here because he couldn't stay in Toronto this weekend. So, it's hard enough with life getting in the way, but having your secondary show that's about to get started. I think in one of the shows they only sold about 800 tickets, and this is supposed to be on TV. So they're having a hard time pushing tickets in Canada for AEW Collision. Um, any of our wrestling aficionados got any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it has something to do with that. So yeah, uh, I mean, where exactly is it in Canada again? Just Toronto
Oh,
or Vancouver?
it's all over. They're going across the
Oh,
country.
okay.
So
Well, yeah, that's probably a reason why. I don't know how bad it is in like other parts of Canada outside of Toronto right now, since I'm not in Vancouver anymore. But um, yeah, I'm sure that's a reason. It's also just something a bit new, so probably have to get more people into it, I guess. But yeah.
anybody else into the wrestling?
Uh,
Warren?
I mean, you know my stance on wrestling. So, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm trying to watch a little bit more because luckily I do have a friend that knows about wrestling, so I can talk to him. Um, maybe just need to market better, or maybe just some certain places you don't. I wouldn't say you don't bring it there. It's just you want to make money, right? So I think
Yeah.
maybe this
Well,
might have been the last one on the list. Then like you build it up, then go ahead.
yeah. To be honest though, Canada is a wrestling town, if you will. I mean, they love them some wrestlers. They've got some deep history with the Hart family and the Hart Dungeon down there. There's the Stampede that goes on every year, I think. So I mean, it's really big down there. But let's catch up with the chat because they kept going. Um, Walter says, I love Zelda, but Metroid would be my first choice. Would think a movie with a powerful female lead would be top of their list. And SK Dot says, Studio Ghibli doing a big budget Zelda film would be perfect. They're the only ones I'd pick. Or Mappa Studios.
Mhm.
To which Nico says, oh my. And Walter then agrees that Mappa has been on fire. Their adaptation of Vinland Saga is perfect. I
Mhm.
saw season one of Vinland Saga, and I really enjoyed it. I thought the quality was
Oh
outstanding, and the
yeah,
pacing
that's
of
fantastic.
the programs were really on
Hmm.
top of it. Um, you could have got the whole thing done in half a season, but they took it and they ran with it, and they extended the story, and it's just it's beautiful, masterfully done. It really is. So. Um,
Yeah,
but
I don't think
anybody?
Studio Ghibli is going to do that though. Uh, I'll say though, please support Hayao Miyazaki's probably his last film coming out this year, whenever it does.
Yeah, yeah.
If you guys spent $1 billion on that shitty Mario film, then you can go support that. Anyway, yeah, I have nothing else to really say about the AEW topic. Besides that, I hope CM Punk turns heel, but he probably won't, but he should.
Oh, I think he's going to be heel regardless of whether he wants to or not.
Probably. I just think it's the best for all sides if you just don't even give him like a chance to play his like intro music and then have some people boo him and
Oh,
some cheers here and there. Just immediately like run out and attack somebody, then get on the mic and saying just like, yeah, I don't care about you worthless assholes. I'm just doing this for the paycheck, and then just drop the mic. Just do that.
not sure what this means, but there it is anyway. So it's
Yeah, I
probably
bought
an,
3 tickets to that because I know it's Rosales' favorite film.
absolutely the Northman. One day I'll finish it and I'll do a review. So when there's absolutely nothing left on Earth to watch. So anybody else got any thoughts on the wrestling? We got big wrestling fans here. Max, you got anything?
I'd hate to be the person to say this, but I've heard it might be all fixed. Sorry, I don't know wrestling.
Wait, wrestling's fake? What?
I've heard that. I mean, I've heard it for about 30 years.
Oh
I've never
my
had the
God.
chance to look into it, but no. I mean, I get that people like it. It brings people a lot of joy, and I do see bits and pieces of it, and I do like the comedy that I see in it. So I do respect it a lot as an entertainment form. One of my favorite ones. This will go. It's from way back. It was Piper's Pit, and I'm sure that Rosales will be the only person who remembers this. They had this like talk show host who was obnoxious called Morton Downey Jr. in Piper's Pit, and he was famous for blowing smoke in his guest's face, being an asshole. And Roddy Piper takes out a fire extinguisher and just blows it in the guy's face.
Yeah, that was that was pretty good.
Yeah, and did you see any Carlito skits?
Oh yeah, he would take a bite out of the apple and spit it in people's faces.
And he asked Maria that one time, "What do you spit or swallow?"
Walter says wrestling has been scientifically proven to be real by the country's top rednecks.
Mm-hmm.
So we got a real wrestling fan there. Okay.
Yeah.
So that brings us to the next topic, which is actually the lightning round. We haven't done the lightning round in a while.
Mm-hmm. And now that there's less people this time, we got it ready.
Yeah. Well, I've been working all week on this particular one. In the lightning round this time around, we're going to be taking a look at IMDb polls. Okay. IMDb puts these polls out where they compare different things to each other, and this time around, I happened to see that they thought they were seeing double when they saw Nathan Fillion and Pedro Pascal.
Oh, wow.
And thought they were doppelgangers and that they look alike. I don't actually see it, but they do. So I thought maybe we would try to guess and see who they think looks like who.
You know, he does look like a younger version of him. That Nathan dude, he looks younger, like a younger version of Pedro.
I think
I don't see it.
It's the eyes. I only really see it in the eyes. I think that I feel like that happens quite a bit where people look mildly alike and you don't see them in a lot of things and then you mix them up. I feel bad because I think there's somebody who accidentally mixed up Samuel L. Jackson and Lawrence Fishburne. I know that used to happen to Dustin Hoffman and Al Pacino a lot, that people would mix them up. So I think there's like a Mandela effect thing that happens in people's mind that does that. It's not logical. It's just the human brain being unreliable.
Mm-hmm.
I think they caught Nathan Fillion on a bad day. So
yeah, like seriously, any other stuff, he really doesn't look similar at all.
Yeah, Walter says he doesn't see it. But here we have an actor you've probably seen more than once on TV and film, Dax Shepard. Let's start with Cole, go to Warren, and then go to 76, and then finally Max. Who do you think that IMDb thinks looks like Dax Shepard?
Oh, damn.
It's okay to say that guy from that thing.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I don't really care about Dax Shepard. He's a shit director, bad actor, but so I'm not too familiar with people who look like him. But if I had to take my best guess, I guess would be like, I remember that guy Zach Braff, I think his name was. I remember reading IMDb articles in the past. Like people saying, "Oh, he looks like Dax Shepard," so it's just like, "Oh, I'll go with him, I guess."
Zach Braff, okay. Warren?
I'm just gonna be lazy and say Nick Cage.
Nick Cage. He looks like Nick Cage. Okay, all right. 76.
Oh well, Cole stole mine. I was gonna say that guy from Scrubs, but I just realized it was his name, right? Isn't it? He's the dude
Zach
from
Braff?
Scrubs, right?
Yeah. What about you, Max?
Maybe one of the background actors in Trailer Park Boys. I can't think of anything else.
Let's give the comment section a minute to think about who they think looks like Dax Shepard. What do you think? Comment section. Let us know. Let's see. WZ says some say Cole looks like a White Warren. Personally, I don't think he's that thick. I saw Cole's beautiful face once, believe it or not, and I think that the stream is gone though. Brian says Judi Dench looks like Dax Shepard. Nico thinks that Matthew Lillard looks like Dax Shepard.
I swear to God, it's just going to be like the most stupid answer. It's going to be like one of the more popular actors in Hollywood who just has like a similar beard and is white and similar hairstyle.
Chris Pratt.
Yeah, like
Chris
Christian
Pratt.
Bale or Chris Pratt. Yeah, exactly.
Well, IMDb thought, like most of you guys, that Zach Braff looks like Dax Shepard. So good on the three of you. There are two or three of you that figured that out.
That's what reading
Here we
IMDb
have-
does, at least.
Joey King. She was a child actress. I think the last thing she did was the train robbery thing with that other guy. So
Yeah, it was a Bullet Train, and she was used
Bullet
as
Train.
part of it, just like any film.
Wasn't she also in like a bunch of Goosebumps episodes or something?
she
Or
might have
like-
been, and she was like the kissing booth on Netflix and stuff like that.
Oh God.
So who do you think she looks like? Cole?
I don't know. I wouldn't know here. I'll say some like stupid actress answer, like some popular one, maybe like Mila
Oh,
Kunis.
that's
Mila Kunis or fucking Chloe Grace Moretz. I don't know. So something stupid like that who really doesn't look similar at all, but they'll pair them up for whatever reason. That's the only thing I can think of. Oh, that's actually a smart one. She does look like a younger Carrie Mulligan.
I'm waiting for Cole. I'm sorry.
Oh, he's done, I think.
She looks like Mila Kunis. Like a
Mila
redheaded-
Kunis. Okay,
yeah,
so that's
redheaded
two.
version.
76?
I was gonna go with the same thing, and now I just look like I'm copying everybody here.
Max, we've got 3 for Mila Kunis. How do you feel?
I know. I'm on the precipice of either choosing Ron Howard or who was that who played, or who was the other one? You know, oh, Scarlett Johansson. Sorry, I always get those two mixed up. Yeah, Scarlett Johansson.
And WZ says Rachel Weisz. Do any of you see Rachel Weisz in Joey King?
Not really.
Not really? Not really?
No.
Well, WZ knows what IMDb is thinking because they think she looks like Rachel Weisz.
Of course. Of course IMDb does.
This is like the game that nobody can really win.
Yeah.
I mean, how are
IMDb
they
are
looking at?
idiots.
You look at their eyes. Their eyes are different.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe if you had brain damage or you needed an eye appointment.
Yeah. Maybe it'll look similar. Like, Jesus fuck. It's like there'll be somebody who just has like a small head, and then says people on IMDb will be like, they look like Dobby from Harry Potter. It's like, what the fuck?
So here's somebody everybody's familiar with. They've seen her in all kinds of
This is
pop
easy.
culture.
Sandy Newton. They all compare her to her.
Warren?
Oh, I would go with I guess Halle Berry.
Halle Berry, okay. 76?
Oh, I don't even know. I don't even know this actress, so I can't even like.
What? She was in Guardians. She does like Guardians, Avatar.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, you guys know I'm terrible with names. If they painted her green, then I would know who you guys are talking about. I don't know. Actually, I can't think of what actress she looks like. I'll pass.
She looks like that lady in that thing.
Yeah, she looks like that lady in Guardians of the Galaxy, the green lady.
It's an eye, not a
That is
eye.
her. or the other. I was going to guess like maybe they mixed her up with Rosario Dawson.
Oh, that's a good thought. Walter says Thandi.
Yeah.
They're going to compare her
I
to a
already
white
know
woman.
Oh my god.
It
Who's
ends
that
up being.
chicken for? Is
honestly,
that the other chick?
Oh, okay.
You're right. You are right. That's
Well, at
what they
least-
did.
No, really?
at least-
Her?
I wouldn't have been shocked if IMDb said Christopher Plummer the way this is going.
Yeah. Yeah, no. The reason why is just because, they look somewhat similar and they do a lot of similar roles. So IMDb is just like, and every time I go on IMDb, there's like a side article that says actors and actresses who look similar, and they're on the front cover. So that's how I know, pretty much.
I just don't see it. Like at all.
I've heard that Michael Cera and Jesse Eisenberg got that a lot in the 2010s. People would mix them up.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
It's
that's-
dumb. Just because of their hair. Fucking idiots.
So here we got everybody's favorite Harlequin, Margot Robbie. And of course, Walters, this is about the Thandi Newton picture, which now she goes by Thandiwi, which is apparently what they, her original name that they made her shorten for Hollywood.
Mm.
So, Cole, who do you think looks like Margot Robbie?
I don't know, maybe Emma Mackey, maybe.
Emma Mackey? Okay, that's a good choice.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely others that are a lot more similar to her, but at this point, that's what I'm kind of going with because I'm trying to think of like ones who have been more trendy lately who kind of look similar.
Bryce says that lady out of My Name Is Earl.
Oh, she does look like her.
Yeah. Yeah, just think of any hot blonde actress and they'll compare her to her.
Warren? I know they all look alike to you, but who do you think looks like Margot Robbie?
That movie where like that woman is in a house and the family's trying to kill her. I forgot. It's a horror. It's supposed to be like a
Ready
horror
or
movie,
Not?
and like
You mean
Ready or Not. Yeah.
Oh, that's Samara Weaving. There
Yeah.
you go.
Yeah. That's so. I think she looks like Samara Weaving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So who's that actress's name again in A Quiet Place?
Ooh. I have no idea.
Oh, Emily Blunt.
Yeah.
John Krasinski's wife.
Mm-hmm.
I was
So,
gonna say Miss 76, but I'm like, that'll be a
I'll
little
cut
bit
you.
far.
Jesus Christ. Yeah.
Margot Robbie would never cut you. But who do you think, 76? Who does she look like?
I say Anya Taylor-Joy because I always get those two mixed up.
Ah, she has got some wide eyes. Every time I see Anya Taylor-Joy, I think about the Alien Greys because they're just so huge, you know. Just,
Yeah.
Max, what do you think?
Well, I was initially going to say Urkel because that's pretty much what her version of Harley Quinn is to the DCU. But I'd also say that I agree with Cole. Emma, I forgot what her last name was, but I think
Emma Mackey?
Yeah, Emma Mackey, I think, is the closest. Yeah.
And IMDb says Samara Weaving.
I don't know who that is.
She's the one from the house with the thing and the
Ready or
people
Not.
trying to kill her.
So so basically every
Yeah.
Blumhouse movie. Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she doesn't look similar at all, but that's what I said. Just pick a popular blonde actress who also looks hot. And I'm done. Jesus Christ.
So this is a young Julia Roberts here. Who reminds you of a young Julia Roberts? I sound like an old producer in Hollywood. You know, she reminds me of a young Julia Roberts. Cole?
Did he die by the lightning?
Possibly so. I think the cartel caught up with them. This always happens to me. I never get to see the emojis. I always get to see the prompts for the emojis.
Yeah, for some reason on my StreamYard, every time I try to like unmute, there's sometimes like a delay. And I don't understand what that is. Yeah, this one I can't really think of any answers off the top of my head. I don't know. Maybe give me a bit more time. I don't really know.
Bryce says maybe Wesley Snipes. Warren, what do you think?
I'm just gonna be lazy and say Haley Steinfeld.
Oh, Haley Steinfeld from the Spiderverse movies. Miss 76.
I'm gonna say an old Julia Roberts because I mean, there's nobody who's like recent who looks like her.
She's got a very distinct smile. That is true. Max, people don't think that you're somewhat different than Cole. They think you're probably the same person.
So Cole's cheating, and he's getting Cole's cheating then because that means he's got two answers, right?
Yeah, I grew up close to Canada, so there's a lot of probably overlap in the accent. So I don't know. I'm gonna just say Steven Tyler. I can't think of anything else.
Yeah.
Oh man, I wish I had that. Wish I had that grandmother picture of Steven Tyler I posted the other day.
Okay. I don't know. I guess who was that one actress again? Her name who was like she's in. I know she's in Stranger Things. The one mother character who's in a lot of stuff.
Oh, Winona Ryder.
Yeah, I guess I'll go with her. I guess just trying to go with a popular actress who looks a tad bit similar. Now, there are actresses I know who do look a lot more similar. They're just not as popular, so I don't trust IMDb with fucking picking them.
Let's see here.
Apparently, WZ thinks I look like every white actress looks like me. I feel like that's racist somehow.
Well, I have a sneaking suspicion that it's not possible for him to be racist. So there you go. Well, IMDb thinks Brianne Howie looks like Julia Roberts.
Wow. That's not even anywhere on my list of like more unknown actresses.
They both have a wide smile. That's all I can think of.
They both smile, so I guess that's all it takes to look like Julia Roberts.
Jesus fuck. Literally not at all. What the
A French
fuck?
lady, but can't name her. Bryce says no.
Yeah, I mean, they have a similar smile, that's all.
Yep, both are white. So he got it. WZ got it right. So here we go. Anybody familiar with this Canadian lad?
No, who is he?
Started singing as a young child on the YouTubes and wound up getting a music contract and turning out all kinds of music. He's known as Justin Bieber.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Cole.
Oh, no, I'm just still thinking.
Well, we'll come back to you. Go ahead, WZ. I mean, Warren, or whoever you are.
I mean,
yeah.
I guess he could look like the kid from Dune.
The kid from Dune?
The one with the black hair.
Timothy.
Yeah, Timothy Chalamet.
Nico thinks it looks like Kitty. Yeah, I don't think her haircut is that bad. I know she's complaining about not being able to get a good haircut in the desert, but I don't think exactly she looks like that. Miss 76.
I was gonna go with a lesbian.
You're gonna go with the lesbian, okay?
Look at lesbian, right. Yes.
That's a fair choice. That's a fair choice. Max.
I was thinking the same thing, but I'm going to be more specific. Ruby Rose.
You're going to say Ruby Rose. Okay, that's the most interesting one, and it also happens to be right, according to IMDb.
Well, I was like, I know I've seen that haircut somewhere before. That's the thing, and so I just Google people who look like Justin Bieber, and and that was on the list. I'm like, yep, that's where I saw that haircut before.
Yeah.
I'm not
Can
sure
I get
that's
half a point for saying a lesbian? Do I get like at least half a point here?
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
I wasn't, my answer is going to be Tom Felton, but this was actually in the back of my mind, but I was like, nah, they won't do that.
It's like a crapshoot with IMDb, And our final one, Maria Patillo. If you don't know her, you don't watch Off Broadway in New York, and you haven't seen the Godzilla movie made by Americans first time around.
Oh, God.
She played a reporter that was an ex-girlfriend of Nick Tatopoulos in the Godzilla movie. So who do you think she looks like? Cole?
Christ, my mic won't unmute. I don't know. I guess maybe Heather Graham. I don't know. That's all I got, really. Heather Graham.
WZ says she looks like Bilbo Baggins.
I'm gonna go with Meryl Streep.
Meryl Streep. 76.
Oh, that annoying chick from 1923. I can't remember what her name is. The annoying blonde. There's like an annoying blonde I can't stand.
And Max, who do you think that Maria Patillo looks like?
Well, considering that IMDb seems to reduce everything to racial stereotypes, blonde woman with blue eyes and that face, I'll just say Meg Ryan since it was the 90s.
Oh, very much so. Meg Ryan. I didn't consider that. Some of the more dramatic movies that she was in, not the rom-coms. That's a good choice.
Yeah.
That's a good choice. Nico says she looks like Eowyn from Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Guys are. I compare some to Steven Tyler. I shouldn't criticize.
Yeah.
She looks like
who's
the dregs
that,
just kicked in.
actually, she could honestly could be stupid enough to just say like Dakota Fanning as well. Like they could pick her.
That's not far off. That could happen. It'll probably be Samuel L. Jackson or something at this rate.
Well, believe it or not, we've got a winner from the comment section on this one.
Oh my god! Holy
Fucking kill me.
shit!
What the fuck?
Oh my god! Oh,
Nico, I need whatever
poor-
drugs you're on because this is
Dude, that's brilliant. This is next level shit.
yeah. So what what we learned today is IMDb we should not listen to their opinions on movies.
Actually, you know what? I can see it in the eyes. It's creeping me out right now.
It's true that he does look. Elijah Wood does look like the Lady in the Lake poster. So if you go back and take a look at that poster for Lady in the Lake, the M. Night Shyamalan movie, it looks like he's in the water. So, and I don't think this lady was in it. So there's probably two women, and one man that all look like each other. So,
Yes.
but that's the
And they
broken
know-
IMDb
don't
quiz.
Yeah. Jesus
Holy
Christ.
shit! I like the whole world around me makes sense after seeing that.
What's it say here? This one I can actually see. They all look like they look alike. Y'all are blind. IMDb is the epitome of quality,
Just like Emma's
and
case.
someone is definitely spiked the coffee at IMDb.
I'm.
This is why people go to Rotten Tomatoes.
You should go to either.
I don't think I'm alone in saying this, but the thing that used to make IMDb good was like the comments section, and that is long gone. I miss the
Yeah.
conversations on there.
Yeah, you just have the reviews, and it's the same thing every time. It's like every artistic film they do 1 out of 10 boring. Every action film or whatever, or
10
film
out
like,
of 10.
yeah, or any film like Joker that every other site has like a 60% on 10 out of 10 masterpiece, and then any shitty action film they do like 8 out of 10 don't believe the critics. It's the same
Yeah,
three reviews right there.
And it's all for the Bruce Willis ones that came out the past 2 years.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was a little mean of me.
Yeah,
Sorry
it's
about
all
that.
it's all of his 65-year-old audience members. So I mean, who use IMDb.
Listening to Cole and Max talk to each other reminds me of that one scene in the Batman TV show where Bruce Wayne and Batman were talking on the phone like this, just kind of.
We could be doing the Mike Judge thing where we're doing Beavis and Butthead.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. We
boy,
spike the coffee. They drink it every day like the Kool-Aid Jim Jones made.
Yeah, maybe I should come on and be one of my voices. That's what I'll do next time.
And to be OJ.
I'll be OJ. I'll be like, oh, thanks for having me on, Rosales. This is just great. It keeps me. I can't think of any OJ plan words. I'm sure I'll come.
Oh, yeah. For the last one, you should have said something like, "Gosh, it kind of reminds me of my ex-wife."
No, I did the thing where OJ is talking about Pride Month. He's like, well, if I knew that Ron Goldman was gay, things might have been a little different. I maybe wouldn't have gotten jealous if that actually happened. So that's what I did in the video, something like that. Yeah, I get away with playing OJ. I'm proud of that.
That's awesome.
It is crazy. It is like watching someone have a it sounds like someone's having a conversation with themselves. You know what I mean?
Cole has dissociative identity personality. He has a gay guy who does OJ as his alternate personality.
It's like kind of like the podcast version of Fight Club.
WC.
Oh yeah, that's hilarious.
Right? Yeah.
So that's all I had planned for the shows, guys. We've covered all the topics. Except for all of the heavy stuff that's going on that we never talk about.
Are you sure you don't want to talk about the Trump classification thing? I think we have a few minutes. No, I'm just kidding.
I'll interject something for the Gwen Stacy thing. If Gwen Stacy is trans, by their own logic, because of their own, I'm going to put this in air quotes. If it's like by their own, evidence, then that would mean Gwen Stacy would be a man. She wouldn't be a woman. By their own logic, it would have to be a man. So congratulations, guys. You still didn't make a character that you can relate to.
Okay, there we go.
Okay.
You sure you're wrapped up? That's it?
Well, I mean, I don't think anybody wants me to go into further detail and get their channel banned. So,
Jesus.
I mean, because you missed the whole segment. If you've got more to say, we can.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, their evidence was that. What did they say? They said that because the dad who came in the room and got all mad and tried to arrest her. I mean, Warren had to film some of it because I said that I didn't see it and I refused to see it, mostly because he wants me to see it. So now I don't want to see it. But anyway, so then at the end, like how the dad accepts the button or whatever. And I said, okay, well, how was their relationship in the first movie? So if the relationship in the first movie was good and he was calling her Gwen and there was no problem till the second movie, then the only thing she could have came out as was a man. She couldn't have came out as a woman because he already accepted her as a woman in the first movie. So they're wrong.
Well, how do we not know that she's not transitioning to being a man? No, I'm just kidding. I'm making.
Yeah, as I say, she'd have to be transitioning to be a man. She can't be transitioning to be a woman.
Or they're non-binary. So I don't.
Oh, because like the transgender chicks wanted say we need a character. I'm like, well, it ain't gonna be that character. By your own logic, it can't. It's got to be it can only be the trans men's character now.
Yeah, I'm just screwing with you. I made that up, but I'm sure somebody will probably go there. Why not? I'll make a video and I'll do it completely cynically on my channel, and we'll see how many people agree with it and subscribe, and I'll make it for all the wrong reasons.
Well, her character is technically called Spider Woman, not Spider-Man Woman. So,
or Spider Person.
Well,
on the kids show, she's called Ghost Spider.
Oh, wow.
Miles Morales is called Spins.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
Is it an Amazing Spidey Friends, a little kids show? Because my niece and nephew, they watch that.
Okay.
Which I know. I sat there and got, that's a little dark for a kids show. Is that really her name?
I get it though. Kids have short attention span, so that might be why they have to do that. That makes more sense.
Well, I can tell you that I've been spamming a lot of Robert Tilton videos lately. So
Hang
like
on, let me pull that up real quick. I just got
well,
the one.
more like exposing his lies.
Oh, he's about to expose something.
I smell Heaven's Bakery cooking up something good for you, sister.
I'm sorry, that does crack me up. But yeah, I've been watching like how he, you know, how he manipulated the church. He apparently racked in $80 million from people. I'm like,
that sounds like a similar. Yeah, I'm not going to say. Never mind. I can't say it.
That's you're probably right, Cole. Not to say it.
I don't want to get him in trouble. That sounds like a similar org. That's all.
It's just like now $80 million in the 1990s. That's a lot of money in the 1990s. Like that's just wild to think that he was able to do that. So I've just been watching all these like fake preachers and reading about how they. That's all I've been doing lately.
What, is there really a real preacher? Come on now.
I don't think there's some real preachers, but I mean, the problem is that most want to like con people out of money, and then they get exposed, and then they all of a sudden they try to find God after they've been exposed. So.
Yeah,
nice.
I mean, were we gonna do that 70s movie?
Oh, let me see if I can pull that up real quick.
Okay.
All right. Warren, keep talking about God.
Yeah, Robert Tilton. Just look him up. He even has a YouTube channel where he uses a green screen nowadays with his wife. His third wife for a preacher. He has a third wife. He's been divorced twice apparently. So,
nice.
That's interesting. Trying to think of any other preachers. Keith Copeland, I think, is another one. Yeah, that's all I got for you guys.
Yeah.
Fake
Well, I mean,
preachers.
I will say if you want to watch a good documentary that biopic. Sorry, not document. Well, there's also a documentary about biopic recently. About like a few of them that were pretty scandalous. Just the eyes of Tammy Faye. I mean, there's a documentary of that, but there's also the film that came out like 2 years ago, which then Jessica Chastain won Best Lead Actress for. So, I'd recommend that. All right.
Here we go. We've got the 80s best 80s movies list. You get 1 point for each movie that you've seen here. And there's what? 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. Oh, there's a bunch of movies here. So,
yeah.
Cole, I know you've seen a lot of movies. So, what haven't you seen on this list?
Nothing. I've seen all of them.
You've seen all of these movies.
I mean, if you want me, I don't know.
Okay. No. I
don't know if you want me to go by like each individual one.
No.
Yeah. Probably. Okay.
So you got a lot of points because you saw them all.
I will say. Yeah, all of them basically. I will say though there are a few that aren't the most like memorable in my mind, but I did see them, which is Pretty in Pink, Risky Business, and 16 Candles, which I believe was by the same director who did The Breakfast Club. So, yeah, I'd probably have to rewatch those, but yeah.
Warren?
I've seen a majority of these, so I'll let you know which ones I haven't, which is Dead Poet Society, never seen that. Heathers, never seen that.
Oh, you got to watch that.
Risky Business, never seen that. And When Harry Met Sally, never seen that. And 16 Candles, too. Never seen that as well.
Okay, I will say 16 Candles isn't really great. I don't know why it's on here. It's pretty average. So, I mean, you don't have to see that. But, I mean, if you like The Breakfast Club, you can give it a chance. But the others you haven't seen, definitely recommend.
Yeah. Sorry.
I've seen 13 of these movies. Good job, Walter. All right. Need to see a few more. Uh, Max, have you
I think
seen
there's
a majority of these movies, or?
yeah, majority of them. I mean, I won't count the ones that I haven't seen completely. The only ones that I haven't watched completely are the Goonies. What do you call it? Footloose. Not yeah. Oh, actually, Footloose, Dirty Dancing. Actually, it might be five. When Harry Met Sally, and there's one other one. It's slipping my mind which one it is at the moment. I'm scanning, but yeah, I think that there's only like four on there that I haven't seen. I did see the Dead Poet Society when I was 8 years old. It was on USA, and I thought it was the greatest thing ever. And then as an adult, I tried to rewatch it, and I wanted to hang myself around the time that they did the whole "Oh Captain, My Captain" thing. That movie was a bit much for me.
I mean, I enjoyed it, but yeah, there were some moments a little too much.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you didn't finish Goonies, because I thought for a kids film, I thought that was excellent and is like what others try to be these days.
Nobody ever rented it for me as a kid. It just hasn't been anything I've gone out of my way to see. But maybe if I get some free time, I'll check it out. I just haven't.
Definitely do it, please.
Okay.
It's excellent. Also, it has the kid in it
Yeah.
who recently won the Oscar now at 40. For Everything Everywhere all at once.
Corey Feldman? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. I'll give it a shot. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm also kind of surprised a lot of people haven't seen When Harry Met Sally. I mean, I know a lot of people really aren't into like rom-coms, but I do think that's like one of the top tier ones.
Oh yeah, there were a lot of movies, a lot of projects in the '80s that had Corey Feldman in them, and even some movies. Miss 7076.
I think I've seen 12, and I'm trying to find. I can't remember. I know one of them that was taken to anything that was in '89 that was filmed. I mean, I was like taken there as a baby, like literally as a baby to the movie theater. So I'm going to count that. So if there's any of those, but I've seen 12 of them. So I've seen.
How would you understand the movie at like?
I wouldn't, but at least I could say I was there for it. This is what my point. I was there for it.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
The worst story I ever heard was there was this guy I knew, and we were watching Basic Instinct, and this had been like 2010 when we were watching it, or 2009, excuse me. He goes, "Oh yeah, I saw it when it came out," and I did the math in my head. He was a little older than me. I'm like, "You were 12 when this came out." He goes, "Yeah, my mom and my friend took me to the theater with them." And I'm like, "Do you think like maybe around the first 10 seconds of that movie they should have like pulled you out of the theater?" He's like, "Yeah, they did." And I'm like, "Holy shit! You let your 12-year-old watch Basic Instinct when it came out."
Yeah, no, I snuck into the theater all the time to see like the most disturbing and just horrifying shit ever when I was like 8. So, and I mean, I watched all that stuff. Yeah, I watched all that stuff all the time when I was 4.
Yeah, I think I resorted to piracy. I think the first movie I ever pirated, because I couldn't see it in the theater, was Red Dragon. Just because I was 15 and it was rated R.
Let's see.
That's the favorite kind of movies that pirates love to see. Ones that are rated R. Warren.
What's up?
Did you already go?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Okay, it's me. I've seen them all. Okay, so there, I win.
What? Tied? You mean?
I'm tied, but I remember these movies because I was a lot older. I think the very first movie I remember seeing was a black and white Richard Dreyfuss film, and my brother and his girlfriend took me to see this movie because they thought it was going to be a comedy, and it was not. It was some sort of dramatic tragedy, and there was lots of French style nudity in the movie, and they covered my eyes until I fell asleep. So. Gosh, how young was I? So glad you made it, Movie Leaks. You made it to the stream with actual topics, but we are done. We can go back over them real quickly for you, though, because I like doing that. We covered Spider-Woman versus Spider-Gwen. We talked a little bit about Twisted Metal, and we talked about the Battle of the Multiverses from DC and Marvel. Oh, Sony's Marvel. Specifically, we talked about how the Canadian sales might be down due to forest fires in Canada. We did the lightning round, and for a short time, we had kids in the background. So that's what happened. We did have a little bit of a rant from Miss 1776, which was kind of amusing to see. It's always good to hear her get her frustrations out. But we're glad you made it. And just end it for Movie Leaks. He doesn't deserve real topics. Yes, definitely watch the replay because the lightning round was greatly amusing this time around. So we did pretty good. And again, I wish I could see his emojis. I always get the prompts instead. Never get to see what those are. Wait a minute. This is it, right? That's it? That's that's what this is supposed to be right there? Purple face, white eyes?
There's
Something
like one
along
where it's
those
just like purple eyes and it's like really big eyes.
Yeah, it
No,
always shows up
yeah.
on the YouTube, but not here. Yeah.
I see. So this time around was a little bit different, guys. Let me get this. Let me get rid of that real quick.
I will say, if you want
Do
a
that.
bit of like maybe a challenge next stream, if you want to like do more of those, you could like try to like pull up one of like maybe 1940s films or black and white films and see how many everyone has actually seen.
Oh, they've only seen Casablanca. So a little bit different this week, guys. Where if you're watching this on Twitch, it is a replay. Twitch changed the rules, so we're not able to simulcast at the same time, which is why the comments look the way that they do. Instead, we actually live streamed on Twitter. So people on Twitter, you didn't get a chance to say anything because Twitter doesn't allow comments. So if you want to comment, always go to the YouTube, or you can find us on Facebook. Who's got stuff going on this week? Cole, you got anything happening besides joining MSK at his leisure?
Yeah, outside of other streams, for the next weeks, not too much else going on. I believe there was a lot of stuff going on last week. This week, taking a bit easy now, but yeah, I might go see some films coming out soon, and that's probably it as far as my memory is right now.
I think The Flash comes out this week, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably will have to see that because I'm sure somebody will want to review it.
Yeah, we'll probably talk about it next week then. If people want to talk about that. You're working on a couple of lists for some people or for yourself, aren't you?
Yeah, basically, yeah. There's other streams I'm on where basically they like doing like tournament type lists. So I'm just like doing that constantly for them. But yeah, I brought up to other people though. If they wanted to like do similar things for their streams as well, then I can also send it to them when I'm done with them.
And Warren, what do you got going on this week?
Well, I won't be available for the show next week because I have to attend this mental awareness retreat from Wednesday till Sunday, so I'll be busy.
Is that part of your parole?
Yes, it is. And then probably I will be going to see, since I'll be back by like the Sunday night, I'll go to see a late night showing of Flash. So that's really all I have for the week.
Well, I hope the intervention sticks this time. Max, what have you got going on this week?
Well, I'm probably going to be watching an older movie, Jeffrey. I'm trying to do at the end of the month, Pride Month episode of my show, going over movies that are gay themed that are important to cinema. So the list in total is The Birdcage, The Gay Deceivers, Jeffrey, and Top Gun. That's the list of gay movies we're reviewing. So
you're not doing the original La Cage aux Folles?
If I can work that in, what's it? I'll check that one out. I'm glad that nobody questioned me calling Top Gun a gay movie. I was surprised that nobody did that, but so that one is meant to be there just as a joke.
Yeah, well no, that's why nobody questioned you.
Yeah,
Now, we're
it's
all
one of those
there with the
things-
head cannon. We are all there with the head cannon on that one. So,
Yep, I'm pretty sure that Top Gun turned me gay anyway. They shouldn't have let me watch it at that formative years. Just Tom Cruise and Val Kilmer in the showers, that did it for me.
there you go. Miss 1776, you've got a couple of big shows this week.
I do. This Friday, we're going to do the Father's Day stream. And I know you're going to be on the part 1 where we're going to do the fathers and sons relationships. And then we'll do part 2, fathers and daughters, that same day. And Sunday, or not this Sunday, but next Sunday, we're going to do a father-daughter characters on the ladies stream. And then, I don't know, I might Jack Warren today, and we can go over, the Spider-Gwen thing, and maybe when people use their stupid head canon to swap over already established characters. So, yeah.
Awesome. So we got some great things happening this week. Nico's really having a great time here.
Oh, well, I mean, you
Oh, there
just
we
mentioned
go.
them now, WZ.
There we go. So it was a good show, I think. I think we did pretty good this week. I think we did all right. So everybody needs to go out and make yourself have a great day as we end the show with a little Cyndi Lauper. Here we go.
Oh, girls just wanna have fun.
Move, bitch, get out the way. Get out the way, bitch, get out the way. Move, bitch, get out the way. Get out the way, bitch, get out the way.